How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. So today we're going to be talking about Ocugen, ticker symbol OCGN, that daily update like many of you have been saying. So what are we going to be going over? As you know, when you watch my videos, I like to have an agenda. Also, if you're new to this channel, we also have timestamps down below in the description just in case you might want to watch certain parts of the video. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to be going over is actually an article from Yahoo Finance. So we know some of the analysts that were on the earnings call. What is their overall feedback? How do they feel about OCGN? How do they feel about Covaxin? So that's what that article covers, and is why I wanted to share it with you guys. It is showing from a bearish perspective here, but I want to make sure when you come to my channel, you get to see what's going on both sides of the coin. I think this is very key, especially if you are an investor in OCGN. The next part that we're going to be covering is also a recent news release that came out right on the Webull app when I was putting this video together, which I feel is very big news for Covaxin and OCGN as well. Then when I do that, I'm going to be doing a technical analysis. We want to see, hey, those support levels, those resistance levels. Is the chart actually looking bullish at the moment? Oh, and I almost forgot. Right after I do that technical analysis, I forgot to mention we're also going to be going over the short interest information as well. That was the most recent update I was able to find on Fintel. So let's get into those videos. So we're going to be going over this recent article. This actually came out on Monday at 3:42 p.m. and it says from Yahoo Finance, Ocugen's valuation deserves a haircut, says analysts. So Ocugen has been a 2021 success story as the eye disease specialist has decided to moonlight in the lucrative world of coronavirus stocks. The company has inked a deal with Bharat Biotech to bring the India-based company's COVID-19 vaccine Covaxin to the US. It's a gamble that has paid off handsomely so far, particularly in the stock market's eyes. Even after pulling back since the beginning of May, the stock's year-to-date performance shows gains in the 455% ballpark. Does the rally have more legs? According to Chardan analysis key Nikkei, the stock might have used up all the fuel in the tank already. Nikkei's skeptical analysis follows on from Ocugen's recent quarterly report. Being a pre-revenue company, the bottom and top line results are of less importance. More pertinently, investors wanted to get an update regarding Covaxin's progress, and right now the company's target of getting the FDA to issue an EUA for Covaxin has stalled. Covaxin has already been granted an EUA in India. Ocugen has commenced discussions with the regulatory body, and a master file containing vital information and data to date, including preclinical studies, CMC, and clinical studies, has already been submitted. However, there has been a delay in obtaining additional data from Bharat that is required to complete the EUA submission due to the current surge in COVID-19 cases in India. And according to Nikkei, time is running out. The COVID-19 vaccine landscape in the US remains fast changing, moving in a direction that we believe is reducing the potential market advantages that Covaxin may offer. The five-star analyst said, compared to just a month ago, the US is no longer supply constrained. Moreover, in their respective development efforts to combat emerging variants and show their vaccines are suitable to younger patients, both Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech are making progress. These are issues which need to be considered when mulling an investment in OCGN, says Nikkei, who concludes, we believe that investors should weigh these developments against the attractive features of Covaxin's inactivated intact variant design. Ultimately, Nikkei's advice is to stay on the sidelines. The analyst reiterates a neutral, which is a hold rating for the shares, while reducing the price target from $13 to $8. The reduced figure implies a 23% downside from the current levels. Looking at the consensus breakdown, analysts are split right down the middle when it comes to OCGN. 2 buys versus 2 holds lends itself a moderate buy street consensus, with an average price target of $10.25. The analysts think OCGN is liable to remain range bound for now. So this was an article I wanted to share with you guys. I was on Yahoo Finance, pretty much just getting the opinions of what's going down with analysts in regards to OCGN. And also what's interesting, this was actually one of the analysts we covered in our previous video on OCGN yesterday when they were asking questions. So it's kind of interesting, to actually see what their conclusions have been after asking those questions during their earnings call. So let's go over the recent update that came out while I was editing videos. Ocugen shares ticking higher. Company vaccine partner Bharat Biotech's COVID-19 vaccine Covaxin recommended by expert panel for phase 2 and phase 3 clinical trials on 2 to 18 years old. This is very big news here, and it's definitely looking well for the future for Covaxin, especially if things go well when they do these trials, of course. And the reason being is that's actually one of the struggles that's going on with the vaccines that are out right now. They have certain age limits. So if Covaxin can show that its very strong efficacy ratings are still looking good, safety ratings are looking really good, then they definitely have a bit of a niche here compared to the other competitors. But do keep in mind, like we covered in the article that I was going over in Yahoo Finance, a lot of the competitors like Pfizer, Moderna, they are working on the vaccine in regards to getting it down so younger people can actually take it. So time is definitely going to be of the essence, but I can't wait to see how this actually looks and turns out for Ocugen. Let's get into the technical analysis. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN that closed the day at $9.90, being down 2.65% on the day. On the low, it tested 9.18, so $9.18, and then on the high, testing $10.16. So one of the things that we want to pay attention to, is it looking bullish? So the 21-day EMA stands here at $9.95, and since it closed below it, for the meantime, it is not looking bullish. But the moment, as far as going into tomorrow, if we end up having some strong price action into the 10s, then it starts looking bullish. But do keep in mind here, we do have an area of resistance here right around this 1060 level. If we get past this 1060 level, no doubt in my mind, we could be able to come back here to reclaim the 100-day right around that $11 range. Now, so what happens if it decides to pull back? I know I'm going to get that question. Is the price going to drop? So one thing that we could take a look at, what happened back here on May the 7th, got down to around 760. So if it did pull back, we definitely see a test right at the 200-day right here around 850. And if that broke, then we definitely can come back to revisiting 760. And then also another level here around 720. If that area did decide to end up breaking, then the next level I'll be keeping an eye on will be right here around $6, and let's call that about 68 cents, right? So just keeping that in mind if it does decide to pull back that further. Do keep in mind it did a direct offering at $10, so if it was going to stray that far away from the price, I feel like it would have to get some significantly very bad news here, or no news updates whatsoever. But I do see there could be a run up in regards to the anticipation and the EUA. So that's why I was saying previously, if you get in below $10, then hey, that is definitely not a bad position, because that's where institutions got in at, and I could definitely see it making that run to $16 and so forth. Also, if you take a look at the RSI down below, it is literally right around like 47. 50 is right around fair value, so even at the current price of where it's at, you're not overpaying at all. But again, think about it, see if this is going to be a part of your strategy, see if you're interested in this stock, and I hope you guys found that helpful. And just know those areas, if it does decide to pull back, because I want you guys to be prepared and not surprised. So now on fintel.io, and we're taking a look at the short interest information for OCGN. So if we take a look at the short volume ratio, it is at 33%, so this is significantly high. As we know, if it's above 21%, there's definitely some short squeeze potential here. So that's one of the things I want you guys to understand. And what does this look like when you put it in perspective? So out of 117 million shares, or you know what, just almost 118 million shares that were traded yesterday, almost 40 million of those shares were actually traded short. So that just puts things in perspective to kind of show you, wow, that short interest is fairly high. If we take a look at the short shares availability, it stands at 35,000, updated 10 minutes ago. And if we look at the short ball free rate, it is around 4.59%. Scroll down further, taking a look at the history of the short volume ratio, it definitely has gone up since Friday. As you see on Friday, it was here at 28.30, and now it's at 32.51. So there's definitely looking like the market is showing a little bit more negative sentiment towards OCGN. We had a period even back here on May the 4th, we were in the 18s. And the last time we were in that 32 range was back here on April the 27th. And we were also at a high over that range on April the 29th. So overall market sentiment towards OCGN is definitely bearish because there's a lot more short interest in the stock currently. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, I am still bullish on this stock. When we took a look at the short interest information, that's giving us an idea what the overall market sentiment is, and it's definitely looking bearish, but it does provide us with some short squeeze potential here. Another thing that we also need to take a look at, time is definitely of the essence. This is very time sensitive. Yes, Covaxin being used in trials for 2 to 18 years old is great news to hear. But we also do know as far as the other competitors, they're working on that as well. And they are making advancements. Also taking into consideration Joe Biden. He's saying, well, you know what? We have a lot of vaccines already, even to the point where they're actually giving them away, bringing them out to other countries in regards to aiding and assistance. Case in point, we saw going down with India. So taking all this into consideration, where can Ocugen get a piece of the pie here? We know they got exclusive distribution rights to actually get Covaxin into the US and actually profit from it. But if they could really carve out this niche for younger populations, I feel like this is going to be very key in regards to making sure they compete with the other big dogs that are inside the space. And this also comes to my next point. This is part of the reasons why if you have high conviction in OCGN, you should not be worried and you should not be concerned because you are in belief of the fact that everything is going to go through as far as the EUA and then eventually the FDA approval and it having success in the United States. If you have some doubts or you're feeling kind of wishy-washy about it, let's be honest here, then this position is something that you might want to actually reevaluate and know what your goals are. And the reason why I want to really emphasize this, because again, I look inside the comment section, I speak to you guys, and a lot of you are like, man, I'm holding a bag here, or I got it at this price, or do you think it's going to go up? You need to have a game plan before you start pushing that buy button when you purchase shares. I feel this is very key. You got to have an exit goal, an exit strategy. Once you have that, then you won't be having too many concerns whatsoever. And you just got to stomach the volatility. Plus watch my videos so you can stay up to date on a lot of the information that we cover. Also, to kind of add on as well, you need to take things into perspective in regards to if you're going along, and I should have mentioned this before, do you feel or do you think that OCGN is going to be able to compete with the top dogs and be successful? If you say no, in the back of your mind, reevaluate. I really just want to really emphasize this point because like I said, the stock market is a place where you make money, not lose money. So just ask yourself that question. Can OCGN compete with the Moderna, the Pfizer? Do they have that advantage? Do they have the ability to actually compete? And I feel like if they could definitely knock it out the ballpark with the studies between 2 years old and 18 years old, they can most definitely do that. Do they need to do it on a high scale? I don't think so. I think the stock will benefit, but also ask yourself this question. Will the stock price remain high or will it sell off? People are going to be waiting. How is this going to be reflected on the earnings report? I want you guys to start thinking about these things, especially if you're taking an investment in this particular play. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll be talking real soon.